I'm doing much better. I got a
Uh,
cold last week, but I have recovered.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, I have recovered. Good to be healthy. Good to be grateful for having good health.
It's nice to see you being well.
Hello, Jilam. Thank you so much.
Um,
I appreciate that. I used to be, when my health was really poor, I used to get sick a lot. Every year when the weather changed, when the weather changed from cold to hot, hot to cold, I would get sick. I would have
mm,
runny nose. I would start to cough. And every time
mm.
I cough, I would cough for a very long time. I had to use medication, right? Using
Wow.
medication, trying to treat the disease, equivalent to trying to remove the darkness from the room.
Mm.
Yeah. Historically, I would try to remove the darkness from the room by taking medication, and it works. You get over the sickness, and a few months later, when the weather changed again, I would get sick again.
Oh.
What happened when you try to remove the darkness from the room without trying to bring the light into the room?
Mm.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Hey, Frank,
Yes, sir.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of taking Mentor 7. What do I need to do for the steps for that?
Uh, so I think you obviously you asked Jihua and she would know the detail, but you have to pass all of the sort of the written exam.
Yeah. Do you
Uh,
think they'll have it somewhat in English though, or they'll
oh,
accommodate that way?
okay.
Yeah. I know all that part because Hua's gone through it. So,
Well, in your situation, since you are such an aspiring student, I guaranteed you that you will get in.
yeah.
So just
Yeah.
talk to, you
That's
can,
what I was going to tell Tai. I'm going on Zoom after this one with Taituan as well. I'm going to ask him,
yeah,
and I'm going to tell him I don't need qualifications. I'm already there.
yeah, you are pre-qualified in the past lives.
Yeah.
You have accumulated enough grades and merit. If you want, you can just send a text message to Master Guimin, or just tell Taiwan and ask somebody to interpret for you. And
Yeah.
um,
I mean, he
if it,
accommodated me when I was in the offline
yeah,
course there.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Even if the written for the formality's sake, in order to get you into the automatic system where they will send you emails and links and stuff like that. You have to pass the test. Just sit down with Jihua and just do the
yeah.
test together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then when you're in the class, you can have other people interpret for you.
Yes. Yeah.
Whoever's available to
Yeah.
interpret for you, they can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. The test part, I'm not too worried about. It's
Yeah.
English.
So now we're at a stage where we have a handful of very, very people who have mastered the knowledge itself.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I don't have the time to be able to interpret for you live during the time, which is usually midday.
Yeah.
But you have Miss Anne Trang, who is an American U.S. citizen. She's in Florida, and she's the one who's sharing in English every day.
Yeah. I was going to join
Um,
her group as well.
Exactly. So see if you can employ her service in
Yeah.
in
No, I
in
will.
live translation.
Yeah.
For the mentor, right now there are some live translation going on with the community inner being class.
Yeah.
Miss Hoài Mi, okay.
Yeah.
Um, Mr. Master Thong, who has a son, right? Whoever interpreted for you. So see if
Yeah.
you can get in touch with Miss Andrang and those people to see if they can commit
Yes.
to, because I know they're going to be in part of they attend all of the mentor classes anyway. So see if
Yeah.
you
I'm
can
going to
find
mention it
them.
to Taituan tonight as well. So,
Yeah.
and then he'll guide me as well. But yeah,
Mhm.
thank you for that info.
Yeah, yeah.
Appreciate it.
Um, Yeah, it's no problem. No, I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. And I look forward to seeing you being able to share this, and we'll be talking about translation and vocabularies in the upcoming days even more.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Frank.
Okay. So I want to extend my gratitude for all of you for coming back to the Zoom today. I am very honored by your presence, and I appreciate the fact that you have come back after 1 week off. I just want to say that back when I was not didn't have the understanding of what it means to focus on health as opposed to focus on relieving the symptoms of illnesses. I would get sick, I would get over it using medication, and then I would get sick again. There were years that I would be sick 2 or 3 times, and each time I would cough for 2 or 3 months. So you take 2 or 3 months of coughing, multiply 2 or 3 times being sick, then that's 3/4 of my life was being sick. Yeah, I was always on medication. I would do refills after refills of the strong cough medication. There were times where I would have to go on what is it, the antibiotic, and then after the 10 days of antibiotic, I would still get sick, and I would have to go back for more antibiotic. But ever since I learned to focus on getting healthy and maintaining health, I do energy meditation every day. I maintain a relatively high energy level in terms of my immune system. Not so much physical. I still need to work on the physical health. Okay, I still need to work on the physical health, running and swimming and all that thing. That would be nice. I'm working on that. But in terms of my internal organ, I try to maintain a high level of energy so that basically when there are light in the room, then there are no room for darkness to come in when it comes to illnesses. I went from being sick for 3 months to being sick for 1 month to down to maybe a couple of weeks. Last week, I can call it, let's say 1 week worth of being sick. That was a strong little virus. My personal record was 1.5 days of being sick. I would get up and I would feel like a cough or a sore throat, and I would meditate a lot that day, raise my energy level, and then by the next day I would be over the illness. But I'm grateful to be back, and I'm grateful for you guys taking the time to come back and joining the Zoom. Okay, and last week we talked about honoring gratitude. It is a attitude. Okay, it is an energy level, one of the very high vibrational energy frequency, honoring gratitude that will protect us, help us maintain positivity, and help us attract positivity in our lives. And just to jump into today's sharing, like always, I like to generate the purpose. Oh, before that, does anybody want to share anything, any lessons, impression that you have learned over the weeks, or anything from the last sharing up to now, any lesson, impression, or any new realization that you have acquired in the past week? Do you guys, anybody want to share anything? So we can, before we jump in, that way it helped me know where you are so I can speak from your knowledge and build upon it. Otherwise, it'll be just a one-way, sort of like information from my perspective. Anybody have any thing they want to share? Any lesson from last time that you remember? Marianne, do you remember anything from last week? Jilam, Jenny, we talked about honoring gratitude last week. Acknowledgement and gratitude. No? Okay. Nobody has anything to say? Yeah? You remember anything?
Like appreciate everything you have in life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you appreciate, you multiply.
Yeah.
Remember, yeah, appreciation equal to multiplication.
Yeah, that's a good point to remember. Appreciating is multiplying. What we appreciate in life, we get more of it. Okay, if we appreciate money, then we will invest our money carefully. We will make it grow. We will get more of it. If we appreciate and honor and are grateful for our children, then we will invest in their growth and maturity. They will become better children and better people. If we appreciate our health, then we will invest time and energy into our health, and then our health will grow. And the opposite of that, if we don't appreciate, if we take for granted something, then over time, the candle, the light of appreciation and gratitude will go away. And what comes in when there is no appreciation and gratitude, when there is no honoring gratitude, what comes in as the opposite of light? Do you remember?
The darkness?
Yeah, what is the darkness opposite of the light of gratitude? If honoring gratitude is the light, if honoring gratitude is the light, what is its opposite? What is the darkness?
Unforgiveness?
No, that has to do with the previous lesson, which is magnanimity. But when appreciation and gratitude disappear, it is resentment and blame that would start to appear. You remember that? If we don't appreciate somebody, if we take for granted their presence and their value to us, and over time, we would start to resent them. Okay, we would start to blame them. And then our relationship with them would start to go negative. If we take for granted our body, we no longer appreciate our body and our health. And over time, we would start to get sick and we would resent being sick. Okay, we may even blame ourselves. Okay. Any, do you remember that? So it is this formula right here. Let me show that again.
Well, when you appreciate things too, you gain merits and blessings.
When we appreciate something, it doesn't necessarily gain merit and blessing just yet. When we appreciate and we honor something, we raise our own
Awareness.
and a perception, and we ourselves become positive. And as we become positive, we attract more positivity to our life. Grace and merit comes in when we perform some kind of act for other people. Obviously, if we are honoring other people and we are grateful for them, we can do things to make them feel good, to make them happy, then that make them go positive, and that deposit some positivity into our positive fortune account. Okay, so it is the act of doing something. It is the seven, remember the seven great acts of giving. Okay, when we perform those 7 great acts of giving, we deposit top positivity into our fortune account, and so that we also gain desirable circumstances. Okay, but honoring gratitude itself is a state of being. It is an energy. Okay, and according to this formula, where honoring gratitude is present, resentment and blame is not present. But when we start to take for granted, okay, then this honoring and gratitude would disappear, and then resentment and blame will reappear. And what blows out the candle of honoring gratitude? It is the taking for granted. Taking for granted is like the cold air, gust of air that kind of blow out our candle. And when our house goes dark, no honoring gratitude, then resentment and blame will eventually show up. Okay, and so how do we prevent taking for granted? How do we prevent, this cold wind of taking for granted from blowing out a candle? We can light up, we can maintain the spark, so to speak, the spark of being touched and moved. Being touched and moved is a feeling. Okay, it's a sense that we are touched by someone or some things and we are moved by it. Okay, and so there is this, what was that formula? Okay, so this is a reality triangle for honoring gratitude. Okay, deep down, it is being touched and moved by something that we have, but we may not necessarily deserve to have it. Okay, the realization, oh, wow, I have this person in my life, but I'm not that deserving of it, but I have it anyway, so I feel very touched by it. I'm moved by it. Okay, I have something or someone in my life, and that is beyond my expectation. And so I'm touched and moved by it. And when we are touched and moved, then the taking for granted will go away. In terms of an energy, it is the lack the disappearance of taking growth for granted that will brighten our lives. Okay, and from a physicality perspective, honoring gratitude is the recognition for the existence of something, the recognition for the existence of people and things. In terms of people, it is the significance of people. In terms of things, it is the usefulness of things. If this pen, okay, if we recognize the usefulness of this pen, we simply use it to its fullest potential. We don't waste it. We don't break it. We take good care of it. We use it to its fullest potential. We create value for other people with it. Okay? That's when, when we start to create value for other people, then we accumulate grace and merit, and then our life could become better. That is the usefulness of things. And in terms of dealing with people, if we have people like employees in our company, for instance, we recognize the significance of our employee, and we can put them to good use. Appropriate use of a person, if you are like a boss or a human capital director, if we use people in the right way, then we recognize the usefulness, and then that is one way that we can show our honor and gratitude. Okay, but let's take a quick step back why we talk about honor and gratitude, why it is important that we talk about it. And like before, I generate the purpose. Okay, to expand our awareness and perception. Our awareness about expand our awareness and perception, about ourselves, about other people. What for? In order to create things like peace. Oops, peace, E-E, okay. Health and happiness, okay. All these sharing is all about how we can create peace, health, and happiness for ourselves and our, other people around us. Okay. And I assume that peace, health, and happiness is a kind of outcome that we want in life. Okay, this is the positive, I'm going to call it positive outcome. And we work on a natural law called cause and effect, or causality. Okay, causality. And causality has a formula. So first of all, it's going to call causality. Okay, I'm going to draw a reality triangle of causality. The formula of causality or cause and effect. Cause, effect. Is good cause. Good cause here doesn't mean a terrible cause. A good mean it is the cause that brings about an effect. And if we want a desired outcome, okay, if we want a desired outcome, we have to have a good cause. From a physical world perspective, as well as from the human life and perspective, human life and experience. Good cause will bring about desirable outcome. But when it comes to human life, there is something called the condition. So good cause and favorable condition. You have a good cause, but sometimes if you have a good cause, but you don't have favorable condition, it's going to be difficult to bring about a desirable outcome. And when it comes to human life and perspective, we can use the analogy of the seed and the fruit, right? A good cause within us is, we can refer to it as the inner seed, okay? Inner seed, what are the inner seed? It is our awareness Okay, and perception, awareness and perception. That's why we spent a lot of days talking about the 3 prime reference system. We talk about wisdom. We talk about attitude. Everything is a state of being. Everything is a state of awareness. When we have appropriate awareness and perception, then we can begin to plant the good seed within us. And then in terms of human life and experience, we're not separate entities that exist on its own. Our life just doesn't get better if we're solo, living ourselves on a desert island. We are connected to people and other people, and our relationship for them is called affinity. It is our attraction to other people. Okay, we want positive affinity with other people. If we have a good seed of the appropriate awareness, if we have positive affinity with other people, then we're going to get the desirable outcome. In this case, we're going to call it the good life. Okay, of health and happiness, right? Health, happiness. Okay, so for the first, half of the sharing, we spent a lot on the good seed. Okay, so just real quick review of what it means for us to have good seed within us. Okay, good seed within us. Real quick review. So this is a triangle of, let's do good inner seed. Okay, let's just say awareness. Good inner seed or good awareness. Okay, one of the first prime reference system that we use was the root cause formula. We need to grasp all of these fundamentals in order for us to continue talking and making sense of all the topics. Root cause, right? A good root cause of life, root cause formula, root cause, yeah, that's fine. Root cause of life begins with me, right? I'm the owner of the choices I've made, as well as all the consequences and the outcome that I'm experiencing in life. Root cause of life begins with me, and I don't blame other people. Okay, that is level 2 awareness and wisdom. Okay, and the root cause of life gives us good mental images. Okay, if we can create good positive mental images, we can begin to create a good life for ourselves. We have another reference system called the human construct. Okay, we went about human nature. We talk about grace and merit. We talk about the garden of the subconscious mind. We talk about the operating principle of the conscious and the operating principle of the subconscious mind. The human construct prime reference system focuses on the idea of grace and merit. Okay, focus on the energy, the positive energy, that we accumulate positive energy when we perform good, positive deeds for other people. And the more good that we perform for other people, the more positivity we are going to accumulate and more positivity we are going to attract into our being, and the better our life will be. Okay, that is the good inner seed in terms of the human concept, in terms of the religious and the spiritual perspective. Okay, the root cause of life is the scientific perspective. This is the religion and spirituality perspective. And then from the common sense morality perspective, we have the prime reference system called the reality triangle. Okay, do you guys remember this reality triangle? Okay, reality triangle gives us the favorable source concept. Okay, favorable source concept. The source concept are what we know, what we believe, and what we understand about something. Okay, favorable source concept, that is a good seed within us, represent what we know, what we believe, and what we understand. When talking about our health, what do we know about health? What do we understand about, believe about health? What we understand about health represent the source concept about our health, and it's going to ultimately represent our reality of health. When we talk about happiness, what do we know? What do we believe? What do we understand about happiness? It's going to represent our source concept of happiness and thereby represent our reality of happiness. Okay, so these are the the aspect, the reference system that helps us begin to plant a good seed, okay, from within us. And then as we begin to light up this house of holistic health, instead of removing the problems of life, we begin to light up the candles of our house of holistic health and house of holistic wealth. We light up the candle of wisdom. We are talking about attitude, and eventually we'll talk about character. Okay, so these three bottom here are the important aspect that we really have to have. So we have wisdom. Okay, we have attitude. And we have character. These character. These represent the inner seed of a person, okay, of our being. If we have great wisdom, we have wonderful attitude, and we have perfect, wholesome character, then that's going to mean we have a good inner seed. Okay. And in the last week, we've been talking a lot about attitude. Attitude, notice they also fall within this corner, which is the human construct, which is the grace and merit, which is also the energetic corner of the reality triangle. Here is the physicality, here's the information corner. This is the energy. Attitude is energy. The energy of serenity, very high, very ultra high frequency. Okay, we talk about serenity, emptiness of being. We talk about magnanimity, also a very high vibrational energy frequency. And last week, we begin talking about honoring gratitude. Wonderful attitude. A person of wisdom is a person who is able to cycle through different levels of awareness and take on different attitude at appropriate time. When we have nothing better to do, just be at peace. Activate the energy of serenity. When undesirable circumstances happen, we can activate emptiness of being, or recognize that all things are essentially empty of meaning, and whatever meaning comes from within ourselves. Okay, that is serenity. Or if somebody does something that is offensive to us, then we can activate the energy of magnanimity. We can be tolerant within limit, or we can raise ourselves to the level of magnanimity in which we don't take in any of the fault. We may see the person as committing some fault, but we don't take in the fault within ourselves, and thereby having no need to forgive people. Okay, we talked about, remember forgiveness? We talked about forgiveness, we talked about mercy, tolerance, and then magnanimity. If somebody does something and we feel offended by it, then we have already taken that fault within us. We've already been hurt by it. And so we are forced to forgive other people, if, not only to help them, but to help ourselves. But if we can raise ourselves to the level of magnanimity, okay, that is a very high energy vibration, great attitude, and we don't have to forgive anybody. And then we begin talking about the conceptual aspect of honoring gratitude. Okay, so now we're going to go a little bit deeper into honoring gratitude. Okay, so we already said honoring gratitude is being touched and moved. Honoring gratitude is about not taking for granted. Okay, that'll erase any resentment and blame. Okay, so today we're going to focus on recognizing the reasons for existence of people. Okay, the significance of people, because ultimately our lives our situation, life situation that we have, even our health condition that we have today, our financial situation that we have today, is ultimately a result of our interaction with other people. Okay, we are not isolated individual living on an island on our own. You can do that if you want to. Okay, but for most of us, we are connected to people. So a wise person who recognizes the significance of other people. Notice I said a wise person because it falls within the wisdom triangle. Okay, attitude, great attitude is a person of great attitude is a person of wisdom. Okay, it takes wisdom to have a great attitude. It takes wisdom to recognize the significance of people. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the 9 types of people. 9 types of people. Let's see, that we need to recognize, to how to treat them. Okay, so this is still honoring gratitude. Okay, honoring gratitude. Okay, significance of people. Okay, so before we go into the 9 types of people that we need to recognize, there are several awareness and perception that we should start to pay attention to. Okay, let's use a different color. Let's do purple, since people are royalty. 1, people are our teachers. This is just a general understanding of people. People are our teachers. Okay, everybody can be a teacher. They can teach us some lesson. Okay, people are our path, if not bridges. If they are not the path toward a better life, then they are our bridges that will connect us to opportunity to become better ourselves. Okay, people are a path in life, and people are bridges. People are our capital. Okay, I'm gonna assets. Capitals are something that we invest in. Assets are something that we invest in, then they grow over time. Okay, when we start to recognize people as things of values, as having value, we can invest in them. They will grow in value, and thereby our own lives will grow in value. Okay, people are capitals, our assets. What else? So now we're getting a little bit more spiritual. Okay, people are engine of value creation. Okay, people are engines of value creation.
Is that number 4, Frank, or is 1,
1,
2,
2, 3, 4. Thank you. Good. All right, beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay. People are engines of value creation. Okay. It is through people that we can create value. If we are a business person and we want to sell a product, it is some people that is going to buy the product. We have a service that we want to provide. It is to people that are going to use those services. Okay, it is only through people that we can create any values in this life. Okay, if we're just alone, on a desert island by ourselves, then there's no need to do anything because nobody is going to benefit from anything that we do. Okay. It is people are our engines of value creation. And okay. And here we can give more spiritual. Since they are engines of value creation, we can also say people are engine of grace and merit. Okay. By helping other people, we make them go positive. We make them happier, we make their lives better, and we deposit a credit into our good fortune account. And when we have a lot of good fortune in our human construct, in our being, we attract positivity into our lives. We attract more opportunity, okay, better circumstances in life. So by helping other people, our lives become better. Without them, there would be no engines of value creation, no grace and merit being circulated. Okay. So these are the ways that we can start thinking about our, other people. Okay, just general ideas. Anyway, really, people who are really blessed with money management, people who are really good with business, they understand how currency works. They understand how money works. Right? Money, they don't let the money just sit in a bank and do nothing, because if money just sit in a bank and do nothing, they will decrease in value over time. You just use it, and then eventually it will be depleted. Right? People are money. Might as well say people are money. Okay. It is through people that you can create money. You can't just create money without people. So people and money are synonymous. Okay. People who knows how to operate the currency, they understand that by selling a product, somebody would buy it. They would, or if you pay somebody some money, they would take that money, they would use it, and they pay for other people to provide some other services. And those people would provide some other services. So the money just kind of circulate. Right? In an economic system, like in the United States, for example, the Federal Reserve, which is a big central government, the national bank, has a way of controlling the flow of currency. When the economy is stagnant, when there's not a lot of business going on, the Federal Reserve, the central bank, would intentionally change the rate of interest for bank loans, that they can either encourage people to spend more money by lowering the rate of interest. When people spend money, they buy, they borrow, then economy spins, the engine of economy spins, and then economy will go up. When the engine of economy spins so fast, people are spending too much, they're buying too much. What happens is you get inflation. Prices rise too fast. And so the Federal Reserve, the central bank, they would increase the interest rate of bank loans so that people are less likely to make purchases, less likely to borrow money. And so the spending slows down, and they would decrease the inflation. That is how, in the economic system, how the government will control the flow of money. As human beings, we can control the flow of grace and merit, okay, by helping other people, okay, and recognizing the value of people, okay. You guys get that so far before we move on to the specifics? Yes,
Yep.
pretty exciting to know, to get it right, because in the formula, okay, in the formula for where was that slide? Okay, here we go. The formula of causality: good seed or good cause plus favorable condition help us gain desirable outcome. Here we are working on the affinity. Okay, by now we have good wisdom, by now we have good attitude, and by maximizing our positive attitude, we are also maximizing our positive affinity for other people, and we can raise our affinity for other people. Then we are going to improve the chances of having a desirable outcome. Okay, so awesome, exciting stuff. Okay. And that's why I'm very grateful for those of you who are joining the Zoom week after week, because you are participating in this engine of value creation, okay? And after today and maybe next week, after you have a clear grasp of the 9 types of people that we should recognize, how to treat them, how to attract them, and how to become them, your life would really definitely improve much more quickly once we know how to stimulate that affinity aspect of our causality. Okay, so let's write down 9 types of people, okay, to recognize. I love the word recognize. Cognize means to know, and recognize means to know again. Okay, see if you can kind of come to an awareness that a lot of this you kind of know already. And I'm just reminding you, you just come to know it again. The people that we meet, chances are we already know them, but we didn't understand this concept, the source concept about 9 people to recognize. So now we have that source concept and we can get to know them again. Okay, 9 types of people to recognize. Okay, treat, how to treat them, how to attract them if we want more of them into our lives, or to keep them, and how to become those type of people. Okay. By the way, did you guys see the flyer that I sent out? I just want to show you the flyer that I sent out again, because I'm kind of excited about it. Let me show you the flyer again. Let's put it on the screen. So this flyer, let me see if I can. So, where's my share screen 2? Can you see that flyer? Can you see that says superhero are among us? Yeah. I use ChatGPT, the AI, the artificial intelligence, to actually create this flyer using just prompt. I just type down what I want, and then the computer created these 9 people for me. And the idea is that there are superheroes among us. Okay, there are people with special ability, people who will contribute value to our life, but oftentimes we don't see them. Superheroes are among us. Okay, I'm taking the AI mastermind class, and technically I signed up, but my wife is taking it and she's teaching me back as I don't have time to take a class. But I use AI to create this flyer along with some of the other flyer that I've been using. I've been doing for the past couple of weeks, created by artificial intelligence, which is designed by a bunch of human beings. Okay, it is a human being, or many human beings, who have contributed to creating the AI that has given me the ability to create this flyer. I am not an artist, I'm not a graphic designer. My wife is a graphic designer, but simply by a set of verbal and written instruction, I told the AI to create this beautiful flyer. Okay, there's no way I can ever create this flyer by myself, but with the power of AI, which has been designed by other people, experts, programmers, I was able to create this picture. So I'm very grateful for them, and as well as they're grateful for the teacher of the WIT organization who is teaching the AI Mastermind course. Okay, kind of like that. You like the graphic art? Each of them has a kind of a unique look to them. Each of them has a color to them. Okay. Okay. Anyway, let's go back to the slide. Second camera. Okay. Share. So 9 types of people to recognize, treat, Okay, attract and become. So first one,
So, excuse me. So this is still part of attitude candles.
oh yeah, this is type honoring gratitude. Okay, this is type of a part of the attitude candle. Okay, the honoring gratitude.
Okay.
We are learning to recognize different type of people. Obviously, there are many type of people, but there are these special 9 types of people that I call 9 superheroes. There are 9 types of superheroes in life that if we can recognize them, we properly treat them, we can attract them, become them, then we raise our positivity in terms of our affinity with other people, and our life become better. Okay?
Awesome.
Yeah, okay, exciting. So the first type of superhero, okay, is simply a general word that refers to a wise person, the wise. Okay, I'm just going to list all of them. The wise, the benefactor, okay, the wise, the benefactor, the value connector. Now, last season, I may have used different words for this. Okay, Ron, are you still here? Last season, I used different vocabulary, and this is still a process of learning. This is still a process of experimentation. So some of the words may have changed, but the concept remained the same, okay? The why is the benefactor, the value connector, the spirit of fortune. My favorite one, I will talk about that in a bit. The people we call the talent asset, the masters, the mentor, the expert, and the sage. Last season, I used the sage to represent the wise because I couldn't find a good word for the last one. But with this one, I decided to use the wise. It's just a general word for wise people. Sage is a special term that has to do with spiritual wisdom. Okay, the kind of people that will open your mind, help you raise your level of spirituality, Messiah kind of thing. Okay. Okay. Each of these, we have a set of sort of action verb that is associated with each person. So to help easily remember who they are. Okay, the wise, what they do is they point the way. Okay, we'll explain what that means when the wise point the way. The benefactor, they help. Okay, just keep it simple. They help. Since we use singular, let's use singular, so we have S. Okay, value connector, well, obviously they connect. Okay, they connect us. So singular. The spirit of fortune, my favorite one, is someone who enables us, okay, or empower. Enable or empower, okay? The talent asset is somebody who carries the burden, okay? Masters have the responsibility of guiding us, so they guide us to life. Mentor are the people who gives moral principle. Okay. Experts gives us ways of thinking, help us think better about a problem or something. Okay. Sage opens the mind. Okay. Sage are the people who open the mind. And I just put in quote, saves us from suffering. Okay. Great sages of the history, the Buddha, the Jesus Christ. Okay, the people who opens our mind and save us from suffering. Okay, those are the very short verbs that describe the 9 type of people that we need to recognize, how to treat them, how to attract them, and how to become them. We are probably not going to have time to go through all 9, but I would try to go through at least 3, if not 4. Okay. You guys got all that? The wise will point the way. Benefactor will help. The value connector will connect us to things of values. Spirit of fortune are the people who empower us and enable us. The talent asset are the people who carries our burden. The master are the people who guides us to life. Mentor are the people who give us moral principles. Experts are the people who give us the certain ways of thinking. And the sage opens our mind and saves us from suffering. Okay, so let's go to the first one. Okay, we're going to start with the wise. Okay, the wise or the wise people. This part is both learning and practicing at the same time. So as we go through each of this category, I will talk to them, and I want each of you to write down a list of people in your life that you recognize as these type of people. Okay, we can see if we can generate a list of 5 to 10 people. Okay, so the wisdom, the wise. Let's do that again. I meant to say the wise. The wise are the people of wisdom. Okay. Occasionally, when I tell a story, I would say, "Oh, wise people have told us this. The wise have said this." Words of wisdom. Okay, the wise. Okay. So here's the official definition of how to recognize a wise person or the wise. The wise is a person who gives us a perspective, a lesson, or an understanding. Okay. The wise or a wise person is a person who gives us a perspective, a lesson, or an understanding from which our awareness and perception can rise above life's problem. Okay? The wise person is someone who can give us a perspective, a lesson, or understanding from which our awareness and perception can help us rise above life's problem. Okay, so they contain this. They give us perspective, okay? They give us lessons or understanding that from the moment of receiving that lesson or perspective or understanding, we are no longer stuck in the problem. We will rise above life's problem. See, the wise person doesn't necessarily solve our problem. Okay? The wise person is not necessarily a person that's going to solve our problem. We leave that to the expert. We'll talk about the expert later. Okay, if you have a problem and you want the problem to be solved, yeah, you better call the expert. They're the one that's going to solve your problem. If we have a problem with health, we call our doctor. They're going to solve our health problem. We have a problem with our plumbing. Our water just broke. We better call the expert in plumbing. They're going to solve the problem. Okay, but the wise person is someone who gives us perspective, some lesson or some understanding that from the moment of receiving that perspective, lesson, or understanding, our awareness open, our perception expand. That's why the purpose of our sharing is to expand our awareness and perception in such a way that the problem is no longer a problem, that we can rise above life's problem. Okay. So just by saying this, okay, it's a practice. Can you guys think of anybody in your life that you can consider the wise or a wise person? Has anybody given you a perspective, a lesson, or understanding that from that understanding, we are no longer stuck, we are no longer being tied down by the problem, we're no longer trying to solve the problem, but we just rise above it? Does anybody want to share a few things? Anybody in our lives right now? Remember, this is where we are working on our positive affinity for other people. People that have come and gone through our life and we may not have noticed them before. But now that we have this definition, we can look and see if we can recognize them.
Maybe the parent will teach a young child how to tie their shoes,
Yeah,
put on the clothes,
yeah.
comb their hairs.
Well, we'll talk about the benefactor. Okay, those are the people who can help us tie our shoes or teach us. Expert would teach you how to tie the shoes in a way that is simple. Okay, and a person can be many. A person can be all nine. Okay, but right now, see if we can think of anybody. Whether we have met in person or maybe from a book that we have read or from a religion that we have studied, that have given us a certain perspective or lesson that upon having that lesson, we rise above life's problem, where the problem are no longer that big of a deal. Okay, and because we have not been trained to look for it, oftentimes we overlook them. Okay.
It's here like a religious, like priest and monk. They give us good advice. They don't tell us how to solve our problems, but they give us some advice, give us some insights. So then we come up with our own solution. So, like priests and monks,
Yeah,
wise people.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. For our own, since we are studying the philosophy of root education, we can credit the wise to be, our teacher, Master Tuan. We can credit the other masters and postmaster who share this lesson on the Zoom, where they give us awareness and perception. For example, did we not learn? Before we learned the philosophy of education, we thought of life being pretty complicated. And somebody taught us that life is really only 4 areas to work with. It is our inner being, our health, our relationship, and our finance. And instead of trying to solve the problem, all we got to do is bring the light into our room. Right? Working on the principle of light. Once we get the principle of light, we focus on our health and our happiness and the positivity, we don't have to go and deal with the problem so much anymore. The problem just kind of go away. We didn't directly fix the problem, but the problem just kind of went away. Right? So we can credit the masters and the teachers of this philosophy as being the people who belong to the group that we call the wise. They point the way. Okay, right? Notice that most of them didn't sit down and solve our problem. Right? But by now, once we learn this philosophy, we kind of solve our own problem, or the problem kind of went away. They point the way to go that avoid suffering, right? Remember the lesson in the flow of the river, right? If we go with the flow of universal principle and natural law, then we can experience life that is desirable, that is beneficial, without having to suffer years of pain and suffering. Every time we talk about it, we refer to them as the wise, right? In Vietnamese, it's cao nhân, okay? Ms. Tu Thảo, would you like to share or ask a question? You go ahead and unmute yourself. You're still on mute.
Thank you for calling me. So in for the wise, if anyone that comes to our life, and teach us a lesson, like they make me miserable, and then I recognize a lesson. Is it called the wise?
Good question. Okay, that's a wonderful question. It's a little bit different. Okay, when somebody comes to us and make us miserable at first, they don't necessarily try to help us. Okay, the wise, we define them as the people who do want to help us. When we meet a person who makes us miserable, and we are fortunate enough, or we are have enough grace and merit to recognize them as our teachers, as our path in life, as our capital and asset. It is from our own grace and merit, our own fortune, that we recognize this. It is our awareness and perception that saves us from the negativity, right? When somebody comes to us and they do something terrible, and instead of going negative, we have the fortune of going positive, that it is due to our own grace and merit, not necessarily from that person. So, right? Yeah. So we just happen to be very fortunate to recognize the lesson that we gain from that. And in fact, when we encounter anybody or any situation that is undesirable, that is painful, then we should be grateful to the lesson, not the pain and the suffering, not the people who create the pain and the suffering. But because whatever we are appreciative of, whatever we are grateful for, we're going to get more. So if we are grateful for the pain and the suffering, and some people are attached to pain and suffering, they're going to get more pain and suffering. And through that pain and suffering, they'll learn some lesson. But why bother suffering, pain, and suffering in order to get the lesson? Why not just get the lesson? Would it be better just to get the lesson and not the pain and suffering? Okay, and sometimes the wise person, let's say our parent, they can teach us in a way that may at first be painful. But through that, we recognize that, yeah, because they love us, they're teaching us to us in a way that will help us have a new perspective in life, new lesson, new understanding, so that from then on, we are no longer stuck in that problem anymore. Okay, it's a wonderful question. I really appreciate that. And I'm glad somebody did ask that question, so we all get a chance to explore and learn it. Okay, so be grateful for the lesson, not so much for the pain and suffering that other people cause. Okay.
Thank you very much. So,
yeah.
so what should we call that person in Honor the Nine? So all the people that we meet in life can be recognized as one of the nine, at least one of the nine key kind of people here, right? So we call them teacher who teach us the lesson.
In general, right? In general, if they don't really fall into one of the nine, then we can think of them as our teacher. Okay, they can be our path and bridges. They can be our capital or assets. Okay, or they are simply engines of value creation, give us a chance to contribute value to the world and to become a better person. Okay, but if we get if we really want to elevate ourselves to a level of, mastery, and this is mastery, then we recognize that, oh, this is the kind of person who points the way. Okay.
I see.
Okay. And so
it depends on us.
Yeah. So we could kind of look around. Okay. For example, I have a teacher, a 6th grade teacher. Okay. And you know, beside from teaching to, sixth grade student with math, English, arithmetic, that's just stuff, just general stuff. But for some strange reason, my teacher one day called me up to Frank, come here, let me give you a gift. She gave me a gift, and this gift was a book by the author Herman Hesse entitled Siddhartha. It is a fictional account of the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, Siddhartha. And from that moment on, I read the book and my mind was open. I started doing my own, you know, I go on my own, you know, spiritual journey, trying to discover truth about life, truth about suffering, truth about happiness. And I started gaining an appreciation for world religion. I was born and raised as a Catholic. I had a Catholic upbringing, which is wonderful, but I was able to expand my perception awareness, my
Yes.
perception, perspective, and understanding open. I have a greater understanding about religion and spirituality that most Catholic don't. And my understanding of Buddhism reinforces my understanding of Christianity. So it's a wonderful thing that my teachers give me a book, and she forgot about me by now. You know, in fact, I went back to visit. I was sixth grade, and when I went to 10th grade, I had an opportunity to come back, and one day I just kind of saw her, and I kind of say, hi, Miss, I still remember Miss Kaylin. Hi, do you remember me? She doesn't remember me. You know? And the thing is,
Yes.
the wise is it can be anybody who just meet you, just give you a perspective, a lesson, or understanding, and they may not be around for you to interact with on a regular basis, but we honor them and we are grateful for them. And this is how we honor and be grateful for them. But this is how we treat them. Okay.
Yes. Thank you very
The
much.
way we treat people of wisdom. Let's see, the wise. Do I have okay. So the way we do that is we acknowledge. Remember, acknowledge and appreciation. Acknowledge blessings. Their blessing. Their perspective, lessons, and understanding, it's considered a blessing. Okay. In fact, this is an English sharing, but the Vietnamese language has a beautiful. I just kind of want to share with you the Vietnamese word for thank you. Okay. So if anybody here, you know, native English speaker, this is your chance to learn a little bit about Vietnamese. Okay. So in English, we say thank you, right? Thank. Okay. Thank. In Vietnamese, cảm ơn. Okay, the word cảm means to feel. Ơn, blessings. So when I say I thank you, what we're saying, I feel the blessing that you have given to me. Okay, cảm ơn, it's a beautiful word. I feel the blessing that you have given to me. I feel blessed. Okay, so thank you, you know, in English, we just say thank you, but after a while we forget what that thank you mean. Even if you do a search for the root of the word thing, it has to do with blessing. Okay, we are receiving the blessing that other people have given us. But in this context of the wise, the blessing is the knowledge. Okay, acknowledge the blessing. Okay, and you honor it. Okay, honor it, acknowledge, honor the blessing. And this blessing is knowledge. Okay, knowledge, perspective, understanding. And the way we properly honor a wise person of this level is you give forward, give forward the blessing. Okay, what does this mean, give forward? A people that we consider the wise, and they can be wise people from any aspects of life. Okay, they could be a person of wisdom in terms of health field, in the financial field, in the relationship field, in any field. A person of wisdom who give us some kind of perspective, lesson, and understanding. If we consider them the kind of the wise, okay, this in quote the wise, then the blessing that they give us, the knowledge that they give us, the best way to treat them is to give it forward. Okay, don't give it back. There's a difference between giving it forward and giving it back. Giving it forward means to give it to other people, pass on the knowledge, pass on the perspective, the lesson, and the understanding. Don't just hog it for yourself. Okay, make more wise people. Give forward the blessing. In fact, people who consider themselves the wise, they don't like it when we give back. They don't like it when we offer them material compensation. Okay, our master, Mr. Tuan, if he teaches us a lesson and we give them some material compensation, he gets offended. Okay, he gets offended. In fact, with people who we consider the wise, okay, these are the wise people of the world. Jesus and the Buddha. If in fact in the Bible, Jesus says, "I don't want your gift." Jesus literally said, "I don't want your gift. I don't want your animal sacrifices. What I want you to do is to love other people and pass on the knowledge of love and wisdom." Okay, it will offend them if you try to compensate them with any material compensation, because knowledge and wisdom cannot be measured by material value. No amount of value can compensate for having raised a person to a level of understanding and awareness whereby we stand above life's problem. Well, think about that. All right? How do you measure the value of a changed life? You can't. And so when the proper way of honoring and acknowledging a person of wisdom is to give forward. Simply, confidently share it with other people. Share it with other people. Okay, and that is why in this teaching, if you take especially the Vietnamese courses, your homework, what do your homework do? Is to share your lesson, impression, and realization every time. Because when you share the lesson, your impression, and your realization, you are passing it on to other people. Okay, you are actually turning that engine of merit. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, okay.
Is another word give forward mean pay it forward?
Pay it forward. Yeah, pay it forward. Okay, you want to say, I meant to say pay it forward.
Nói, right? Then
Huh?
đáp tiếp nói.
Yeah, the Vietnamese
Then đáp.
adaptive noise. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pay it forward.
Pay
That's
it forward. Pay it forward. Pay it forward. Okay. I like that. Okay. Pay.
Yeah, pay it forward. It's the name of the movie.
Really? But
Yeah.
it is, yeah, pay it forward. Okay. Let's do it. Let's use that phrase.
Movie.
Pay it forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about it, okay? Let's borrow economic as a way to describe it, okay? Even if it is something of value, okay? If we buy something of value and we pay it in equal value, you give X amount of money, you receive X amount of value. Then what will happen is they cancel each other out. It is a zero-sum game. Think about it, right? You pay an X amount of value and you receive an X amount of value, and assuming the item you buy is fair, right? A fair price. We always want a fair price. If it is fair, then it is a zero-sum game. You give something, you take something, nothing is born out of that zero-sum game. But if you take a blessing and you forward it, you pay it forward, you help other people, you raise other people's awareness, then that lesson gets passed on. And if that person pass it on, then there's an engine of grace and merit will turn. Okay, this is how society gets better if we pay it forward as opposed to pay it back. Okay, so thank you so much, Marianne, for the wonderful phrase that we're going to keep forever. Pay it forward. Okay, okay,
It's
pay
not
it forward.
It's from Mr. Quayman.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
He recommend the movie Pay It Forward.
okay. I didn't see the movie, but I know the term.
It's
I-
a beautiful term. Good job, Marianne.
There you go.
Yeah, I tried to watch this on Netflix, but then it's not free. It's like $8 something.
Okay, okay. Nothing is for free. Grace and
might-
Meredith,
I might
Indian, you
watch
gotta
it.
pay somebody to make the movie.
Yeah.
Think about it. That movie is not worth $8. That movie is worth millions of dollars. People would spend thousands of hours to bring us a movie, and it's only $8, and you can't pay $8. So think about that one, okay?
Well, I like my daughter to watch it. I mean, I know what I mean. I like my daughter to watch it, but she didn't want to watch it. So
Mhm.
that's why, oh no, I'm not gonna pay that. I know
So
John
you can,
wants to watch it, then I'll pay it.
yeah. So you can think about that, okay? You can think about how much is that movie worth to you.
Yeah, it's
$8
what a
yeah, or more, because there are, probably thousands of people who, dozens of actors, hundreds of supporters, thousands of people who contributing to supporting those supporters. Everybody's got to eat, everybody's got to drive, everybody had to make the car. So when you start to think about it, a product or a service has this chain of causality of people that go to support those people, that go to support those people who were born from parent, who were born from parent, who benefited from the earth, which was born out of the stars. Okay. So when we start to raise our awareness and wisdom, we start to recognize value comes from people. And it's not just one or two people. Okay, there's so many people. Okay, so let's move on. What do we talk about? We said how to treat and honor the wise. Okay, now here's important. How do we attract them? Okay, so how do we attract a lot of wisdom, a lot of wise people into our lives? Okay, simple. We honor them. We are grateful for them. We are grateful for the lessons. We are grateful for the values that we receive, and we share it. Okay. In fact, if you teach somebody something, and that person is really grateful, and they share with other people, would you be more likely to teach them some more? Right? We are generally attracted to people who are very grateful for us. So it's the same thing. If we want to attract wise people, then honor the wisdom and share with other people, and more wise people will come into our life. They will recognize us as someone who is the engine of value creation, and they would be more likely to teach us more. They will give us more perspective, more lesson, and more attention. That is how we attract them. But if we give somebody a lesson or perspective, and they just kind of keep to themselves, and they don't respect it, and they don't honor it, then nobody's going to want to share anything with that person, right? So we want to attract more wise people into our lives. Just share it, honor it, and share it with other people. Okay. And the next one, how do we become someone that other people may consider to be a wise person? Okay. Why the wise in this context, in this teaching, has a specific definition to it. Okay. So for our purpose, if we want to become the wise person in terms of the philosophy of education, we need to fully grasp the root cause formula. Okay, the root cause formula. The root cause of life begins with me. To become a person of wisdom, we need to fully grasp that the root cause of life begins with me. That I am the master of my choices, and I accept all the outcome of that choices as a result of my choices. I don't need to blame other people. I am the master of my own life. That is the root cause formula. Why do we need it? Because only when we recognize that we are the master of our fate, that we are the owner of our life, can we teach other people. If we can actually cause another person to come to an awareness that they are the owner of their own life, by raising them to that level of awareness, then we have basically freed them from a lot of suffering. That is what it means to become the wise in this context, to help another person recognize and take full responsibility and accountability for their own life. Okay, so that means we need to grasp the root cause formula. Okay, root cause formula. And I really appreciate those of you who want to study to become a mentor, because you have within you the desire to share this knowledge to other people. Help other people become owners and masters of their own life. No more blaming. No more blaming circumstances, no more blaming our parent, no more blaming other people. We take responsibility for our own choices, and we accept the consequences and the outcome that we experience today as, compatible with our choices. We don't need to blame other people. We just need to create new mental images and create new outcome. Okay, so master the root cause formula. Okay, what else do we need? Master the human construct. Okay, we talked about that. Human construct. Why? Because in the human construct, we understand human nature. We understand 16 human nature. Human nature, we have basic needs for resources, which is money and power. We have basic needs for appearance, right? Our physical beauty, the form of our surrounding, the spatial arrangement. We have a need for our identity to be recognized, to be acknowledged. We have a basic need for sustenance, which is food, okay, and consumption. We have a basic need for rest, which is, sleep, okay, vacation. Those are understanding those basic human needs, and then understand the anger, the ignorance, the desire, tendency, desire, anger, ignorance, pride, skepticism, ethic, judgment. Understand that each of those nature has a positive and negative polarity to them. And so we can manage our own positive and negative polarity, and then we can show other people to go positive if they are negative. In fact, go balanced and positive oriented. If they're negative, head positive, okay? If they're already positive, help them reach a state of balance so that they don't swing back to being negative, because a person being too positive in any aspect of human nature will tend to swing back to being negative. Okay, too happy is going to make, you're going to go back to being depressed very soon, for example. So if you can master the human construct, master the energy, the concept of vibrating energy frequency. A person whose energy vibrates at a high and super high level is going to attract positive circumstances. Person who vibrate at low frequency, right? If their human nature has a lot of negativity, they're going to vibrate low and they're going to attract negativity. Master the operating principle of the subconscious mind. Remember the garden of our subconscious? We have the seed of affinity, we have the seed of knowledge, we have a seed that have sprouted into a tree that have outcome. Whatever we think about, we plant a seed. That seed carries a positive or negative charge. And over time, we keep thinking about something with positive or negative charge, we are pouring positive or negative energy into it. And eventually, that seed is going to grow into positive or negative fruit. We're going to attract positive or negativity into our life as a result of what we think about in our subconscious mind. Okay, those are the concepts that we spent, I think, several days sharing in the human construct. So you're going to master the human construct frame of reference. And then finally, obviously, remember this one, the reality triangle. Okay, to be a person that we call the wise person, master the reality triangle. Understand that all things in life, whether we can see it, we can feel it, or we simply have an awareness of it, has a physical manifestation. From lead and gold that has a physical manifestation in the physical world through things like good health and good relationship and happiness. There is a physical manifestation to things that people can feel, sense, and know. And those physical manifestation came about as an energy vibration. Just as lead and gold has a specific energy vibration that gives it its distinct look and feel, people of happiness and people of great health have a certain energy vibration within them that give rise to a state of health and happiness. And where does that energy vibration come from? It comes from the information within it. And with lead and gold, the information is the arrangement of electrons and protons and neutrons, and the quarks, and the, scientists call them information. When it comes to human life and experience, happiness and things like great health, the information within a person is that which they know, that which they believe and understand, represent the information. Right, that is the reality triangle. So we master the reality triangle, we can help other people rise to another level of wisdom and expand their awareness and perception, so that they can stand above life's problem and not be always looking to solve the problem. Okay. When a wise person taught me that health is a state of complete mental, physical, and social relationship, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity, that is a perspective and a lesson and understanding that allows me to stop looking for treatment to disease and to focus on health. Okay. And then to become the wise, okay, we need to understand. So we talked about mastering the three, prime reference system, three standard reference system. It is a good idea to also master the story of the emptiness of all things. Remember the pen? Okay? When I hold this, I ask, what is this? And we say, this is a pen. And I ask, what is the puppy dog thing? The puppy dog thing, this is a toy. And through a walkthrough, we understand that this thing, whatever it is essentially empty of meaning, and whatever meaning comes from within us, not from that thing. It is from within us that this is what it is, and it's essentially empty of meaning. And once we can show another person that all things are essentially empty of meaning, then we can also show them that we are essentially no one. And if we are no one, then we can become anyone. If we are already attached to someone, if we're already someone, then it's going to be hard to become someone else. Right? If we are already a sick person, then it's going to be hard to become a person, a healthy person. But if we recognize that I'm no one, then at that moment, I can go to work on becoming healthy. In fact, last week, I was not sick. I just had a cold. There's a difference between being sick and having a cold, or having an illness, being sick and having a sickness, being ill versus having an illness. Being ill is a state of being. That's an attachment to identity. Okay, we need to let's share this one. Okay, so there is the idea of there's the idea of attachment to identity. Okay, attachment to identity is the source of great suffering of many people. If we are already someone, then we cannot become anyone else. But if we are no one, then we have the potential to become anybody. Wherever there is suffering, take a look. It is usually because we are attached to some identity, some way of being. If we are used to being, let's say, a CEO, we are used to, or a military general, we are used to giving orders at work. And we come home and we give orders to our spouses and our children. Is that going to work out very well in a family situation? Probably not, because we are attached to being a general or a CEO. If we are, if we are, how do you say, if if we are a doctor, okay, here's a good one. Okay, I work in a medical environment, and nurses and doctors are notorious for being terrible patients because they know everything. They know about their health, they know about diseases, they know about pain and medicine and everything. And so when you're trying to help a doctor or a nurse, especially nurses, they tend to know it all. And so they don't listen to you. And that makes them terrible patient. And because they're terrible patient, they don't let you take care of them. They don't get well as fast as patient who recognize that they're just patient. So if you're a nurse and you are attached to your identity as a nurse, and when it comes to being a patient and you don't let go of your identity of being a nurse and allow yourself to be patient, allow yourself to be taken care of, then it's going to be hard for people to take care of you. So it's going to be hard for you to get better. That's a example of attachment to identity. Okay? And suffering comes whenever we suffer, we're trying to be something and we are attached to something else. You're going to find that usually attachment to identity is a source of suffering. So once we learn to let go of identity, then life's going to be a lot simpler. We could have high high position at work, like CEO, bosses. But when we go home, we just let it go. We become a father, a mother, when we talk to our children. And when our children go to school, we are a wife or husband, and we interact differently when we are with our wife and our husband. And so wisdom is having to cycle through different identity at different appropriate time, right? Making appropriate use of the right kind of attitude at the right time. And so we detach from identity, okay? So that's how you become a wise person. That's how you can help other people raise their awareness and wisdom. It is a good idea in order to detach from identity, in order to help other people raise to a level, the level of awareness and perception, we need to reach a level of wisdom of level 3. Okay, the level 3, emptiness of being. At any given moment in time, we can activate the energy of level 3 wisdom. Okay, we can let go at any time, and then we can resume our energy at any time. We can pick and choose different level of energy, awareness and wisdom. Level 2, level 1 when needed, but we need to understand level 3 awareness and wisdom. So you need to review that section, okay? To become a person of wisdom or the wise, it is important to create opportunity to interact with many people, because people are our engine of grace and merit. If we don't create opportunity to interact with people, how are we going to help with other people? All right. If we become enlightened and we go into our cave and disappear, we go onto our island, desert island, and we don't interact with people, we can't really help anybody. Okay, so we need to create opportunity for human interaction so that we can pass on the knowledge. right? Creating a Zoom like this is what I'm doing, okay? And I'm grateful for those of you who are going to be a mentor level, because you're going to be creating opportunities for other people to interact with you, to learn, okay, to gain the kind of wisdom and awareness that you have yourself. Okay, we have to cultivate ourselves to a point where we do not have a problem with other people. Okay, we don't have problem with other people. We don't see people as having problem. I think that's part of wisdom level 3, okay, as well as magnanimity. People are inherently problem-free. They don't need to be fixed. As long as we see people having problem, we're trying to fix them, our awareness and wisdom is level 1. Right or wrong, good or bad, okay? We need to go to level 3. People don't have problem. We don't need to fix them. If they want to better themselves, then we can give them a perspective, a lesson, or understanding that help them rise above their problem. But don't try to fix people's problem, okay? And obviously develop our wisdom and attitude. But that's what we're doing right here, okay? Wisdom and attitude. Okay, any question, impression about the wise before we move on to the next type of person? Anybody have any impression so far? No?
So the level of energy frequency, you want to stay balanced.
Yeah.
If you stay too high, then it's not good either. It's kind of the same thing as your level 3. You don't want to stay at level 3 wisdom or awareness all the time, or
Yeah,
it
exactly.
doesn't work.
Exactly. It has to do with the cycling through of appropriate level at appropriate time with appropriate people.
Mhm.
You do, you want to maintain a degree of serenity. You want to maintain a degree of ultra high when there's nothing to do. Okay. So that because the benefit of having serenity, the benefit of having that ultra high, ultra balanced energy level is we have clarity of judgment and clarity of wisdom, so that we can pick and choose the kind of action that we need to take. But as soon as we, know what to do, we need to lower our energy level down to level 2, take ownership of our own actions, level down, and then lower it down to level 1, pick the right action.
Yeah.
Okay?
You analyze the person to see what level they're at, and then you drop yourself down to that level.
Yeah. So yeah, a person who stays in the level of serenity all day long when interacting with other people can't really help anybody.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks.
so wisdom is the ability to cycle through appropriate level at not just being in one all the time. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you for that, Ron. Did anybody get that part? Anybody else want to say something? Any question? Okay, the wise. All right. Okay, let's move on to my next. I am really grateful for you guys' participation. As I'm sharing that, I'm learning it myself. As I'm sharing it, the concept becomes more clearer to me. Okay, next one, the benefactor. Benefactor. Okay, the benefactor. So the benefactor, by definition, is a person who helps us in some aspect or in some part of our lives. Okay, very simple. A benefactor is someone who helped us in some aspect or some part of our lives. Okay, somebody who helps us, a helper. Okay, a benefactor is a helper. We are the beneficiary. Okay, they are the benefactor, we are the beneficiary. And for benefactors, we can think of 3 different levels. Okay, they're the great benefactors of our lives. That is sort of the let's use the medium, mid, Middle benefactor, medium. You guys can help me with this one. Okay, so there's a medium, which is in the middle somewhere, and then there's the sort of the small benefactor. Okay. Right. Great benefactors basically help us all of our lives. Okay, a great part of our lives. They are somebody who a big deal, who contribute a great deal to our lives. The medium or the mid-sized sort of benefactor, a large part of our life, but not all of it. And then the small benefactors are the people who contribute to small part of our life. Okay, so as a practice, okay, does anybody want to name a few of their benefactors? Can we actually write down 10 people who are our benefactors? Who want to share?
Now, I think the parents, the great benefactors.
You consider your parents a great benefactor, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, somebody, it's a good idea to think of our parents as great benefactors, especially if we are fortunate, okay? If we are blessed and we have enough grace to have parents who bring us into this life, raise us, teach us, clothe us, feed us, take care of us, especially for Vietnamese parents, even from the time we are born to the time we die, or the time they die, they will always take care of us. My mom is she's over 70 years old. She still cooks. She still buy me stuff, take care of me. Okay. Yeah, my parent would definitely be considered someone I consider a great benefactor. Okay, they give us this life, even for people whose parents don't take care of them. There are people whose parents, bring them into life, and due to one circumstances or another, they cannot take care of them. They give them away, or they abandon them. It is a good idea to maintain a positive attitude with respect to the person who brought us into this life. Because without them, we would not have all the opportunity that life has given. Okay. There are some children whose parent can be abusive, yet they have the grace and the blessing to still consider their parent, even though they are abusive, they still consider them their benefactor. So they brought them into life, give them the opportunity to learn, to grow, to become a mature person. Okay, and for those people, they are able to maintain a very high degree of positivity within their own person, and they tend to attract positivity in their life. Okay, they may not have the kind of pleasure that other people have, a parent who are loving and caring, but even for children whose parents are abusive or abandoning them, if they have the blessing and the grace to consider their parent a benefactor, those people tend to do pretty well. Okay. What other benefactor can we think of beside our parents?
Our spouse.
Our spouse. Okay, our spouse. Okay, they help us, obviously not through our childhood, but starting from our adulthood, and for many of us, many years of our lives. Okay.
And if it wasn't for my spouse, I wouldn't know anything about wit.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. For some of us, we are fortunate to have our spouse who cooks and clean and share part of our lives, help us be happy. Okay, take care of our children. Going back to great benefactor, our parents. When I first got married, my wife and I used to refer to our respective parent as my mother and your mother, like the in-law, the parent-in-law, right? The mother-in-law. We used to refer to, okay, my mother is like this and your mother is like that. And one day, my mother-in-law was very gracious. She taught my wife to stop referring to my mother and your mother as if your mother is not my mother. In other words, she said, from now on, once you are married, you both of your mothers are your mother. So basically, we have gained a set of parents. Okay, so no longer we are allowed to make a distinction between me, mine, and yours, because when you say mine, that's something of value. Our great benefactor, your mother or your parents is something less. But that's why a lot of couples have problem with their in-laws. Their parents are fine, but their mother-in-law, in-law tend to have problem with. It is because they don't recognize that it is their parent-in-law are the one who give birth to your spouse, and the spouse is the one who brings us the happiness that we got married in the first place. So if we learn to recognize that the in-law parents are just as great as our own parent, then our affinity with them would go up, and the quality of our lives would go up. And so from then on, when my wife and I, when we talk about our mother-in-law, we don't say your mother or my mother anymore. We just say mother, and we add their first name to it. Like my mom name is Mian, as it's called a man, Mian, which is mother Mian, and my wife's mother is her name is Thắm, so we just say Mẹ Thắm, which is mother Thắm. So each of us have two mothers, and we recognize that they love us as much as they love our spouse. Okay, and it is I'm very blessed, and I feel very blessed and fortunate to have a mother-in-law who has that kind of awareness and perception. That she taught me that I have just gained a mother when I got married. And it's a privilege to be in a family where our parents recognize, our in-laws recognize their children-in-law as their own. Okay, so that is why my mother is very close to my wife. Okay, and I'm very close to my mother-in-law, and we don't have the stereotypical problem of mother-in-laws, in-laws. Right? Some people refer to the in-laws with a negative sense, and that's kind of sad. Okay, that's kind of unfortunate. But you can turn it around. Right? We are now people wisdom. We have level 1 and 2 awareness. Okay, root cause of life begins with me. Mental images is what I can create. What I see, what I hear, what I say about my in-laws is the kind of thing that's going to determine the outcome of my life. I have level 1 awareness and wisdom. I can pick between a positive attitude and a negative attitude. I can pick positivity when I think about my parent-in-law, right? And the way to think, and the way to turn the negative, if you're having any negative perspective about your in-law, then go back to the formula of honoring gratitude, right? Recognize the reason for their existence. Without them, you would not have this spouse who makes you happy. Right? We get married to somebody because we believe that person is gonna be happy with us and make us very happy. And so we have to recognize the significance of the in-law who created that spouse. Okay, and we stop taking for granted. Okay, we stop taking for granted that that person has created our spouse, and see if we can find some way to feel touched and moved by their existence, by the fact that they give birth to our spouse and the fact that they give our grandparent of our children. Okay, so it's important that we learn about honoring gratitude. It's important that we recognize the significance of our in-laws. And think about it. You have one family, and now you have your spouse and your first come with family. Your family has just grown. Just imagine, in terms of fortune, you can double your fortune. Right? Now you have 2 parents. So important to think of our parent as great benefactors, and then important to think of our in-law parent as great benefactors as well. Okay, and then there's a medium. Some people can think of their spouse as great benefactors or medium benefactors. Small benefactors are the people who kind of help us along the way. Okay, but here's an irony. I want to point out the irony. Oftentimes, as human beings, we tend to be grateful for the small benefactor who kind of help us, with the small thing, and we forget the great benefactors. A friend may give us a loan, and we are so grateful for the friend, and we do everything we can to pay them back, but we forget the person who give us our life. And we never talk to our parent, we don't call them. When they go old, especially in an individualistic society like the West, our parents grow old and they tend to fend for themselves. Right? Sometimes when they retire, their income gets reduced. They're on a fixed income. They may have to move to a nursing home or an assisted living or something, and strangers have to take care of them when we don't take care of them. Meanwhile, we spend a lot of time trying to pay back our friend who is a small or medium benefactor. That's the irony of life. And see if we can turn that around now that we have awareness and wisdom. See if we can appropriately. So now we talk about how to treat our benefactors, right? So how to treat our great benefactors, or any benefactor you acknowledge. Okay, so same thing. You acknowledge the blessing. Okay, knowledge, blessing. We honor it. Honor the blessing. But for these people, we should pay it back. Okay, with the wise people, we pay it forward. With these people, we pay back. It's very simple. Just think about it. If you are helping somebody, okay, you are now we are a benefactor, and we help other people, and that person is ungrateful, or they just take it for granted, the blessing that we have given them, and they don't pay it back. After a while, we don't want to help them anymore, right? We don't really want to help them anymore. Okay. So it's the same thing with our great benefactor, our medium, and our small benefactor. We need to pay it back. And with these people, it can be in material compensation. It's, when it comes to the great benefactors, it's impossible to pay back our parent in terms of, material compensation. You can't sit down and, calculate the value of your life existence in terms of money. Right? But we pay them back in any way we can. Okay. Materially, if we can, especially if we're, financially well off, make sure our parents are financially secured, that they have a comfortable life, that they don't have to struggle at the end of their lives. Okay. In terms of emotional as well as spiritual support, they need those things as well, because those are the kind of things that they have given us, emotional support as well as spiritual support when we are growing up. So paying back, okay, to our parent and to other people who help us, okay. And the thing about benefactors is sometimes it's not a great idea to try to be too fair when you're paying back. Okay, this is something that we have to be a little clever and wise when it comes to human interaction and human relation. If you are too fair, let's say you have, especially in our family, let's say we have a parent, a sibling, and when you go out and a sibling, pay for dinner, and the dinner costs, X amount of money, and if we pay it back the exact amount that it costs, once again, what we've done is we have just participated in an economic transaction. If we give back in an equal value what our siblings or our family member had given to us, then we have just participated in an economic transaction, and it is an equal sum. It is a zero-sum game. So there's no strings attached. That's the problem. When we operate human relationship, especially our family member, with that kind of how do you say, narrow understanding of fairness, then we cut the strings, right? If a family member treats us to dinner and we pay back in the exact amount, then it's a zero sum, then there's no string attached, we cut it. And so when it comes to family relationship, it's okay to owe a little bit of favor. Okay, when our family member treats us to dinner, don't be so hurried to pay back right away. Allow yourself to kind of owe it to them, and then find other ways to pay it back. In a ways that maintain that ties, the ties that bind. Get it? You get it? The sense of the tie that bind. In human relation, you owe them, and you do something, and then they kind of owe you back, and it's that sense of owing. It's a positive sense. You know what I'm trying to say? Don't be too fair in terms of compensation when it comes to family members. In terms of friends that you want to maintain relationship with, don't be too fair either. When they help you, it's okay to accept their help, but don't be too hurry to give back right away. It's okay to owe them, so that when it's time for them to need help, then you can pay it back. Then in terms of helping them with other favor, they can call in your favor. That is the tie that binds us with other people. But if somebody helped you and you pay it back right away, then you cut the tie. It's an equal exchange, and there's no connection, then you're actually going to lose the friend. If it's kind of a fair exchange that way, right? So human relation, we kind of owe each other favors. Okay, we do somebody a favor, they kind of owe us. And then when we need it, we kind of call in that favor, or somebody does us a favor, we owe them a favor. Just kind of maintain that debt. It's okay, it's a positive debt. It's a nice debt to owe. And then when they need help, we are available to help them. Does that make sense? Yeah, so it's a give and but just be careful with being so quick to pay it back. Okay, take a little bit of wisdom to do that.
Mm. Frank, can you say again the saying that the tie that
The
something
tie
like
that binds. Okay, so here's there's a concept, the ties that bind. Okay, these are the little favors that we owe to other people, or that other people owe us, and you don't have to be so quick to pay back.
Yes.
If it's a big debt, yeah, you better pay at least some of it, so that you can, if you don't pay back, then you don't feel like you're being ungrateful, then you burn the bridge. Okay,
Yeah.
you're not gonna accumulate, you're not gonna attack benefactors. But the little ties that bind, okay, the little favors, okay,
Ties that bind.
let's say little favors owed. Okay, little favors owed that we owed. Okay, yeah. So let's see. So in order to become, to understand the idea of the benefactor, okay, we recognize other people for the blessing, for the help, the favor that they owe it to us. Okay, we also need to recognize that people are the focal point upon which we can improve our lives. Okay, this is important. We have to recognize that through people that we can improve our lives. We can't improve our lives by ourselves. It is only through people. By owing other people, we have that drive to become better, right? When somebody help us and we don't pay it so back, we kind of owe it to them to make ourselves better, so that we can be ready and available to help them when they need help. Okay, it is through people that we can improve our lives. And they are the focal point upon which we can improve our life. Okay, we already mentioned, things like the people are the path, okay, or the bridges that connect us to opportunities. Okay, let's see. We need to the system of reference, the standard reference system that we need to master is the human construct, especially the grace and merit part. Okay, the engine of value creation, the engine of grace and merit. Realize that when we help people, we accumulate positivity for ourselves. And when we receive help, it is we are using up the fortune. And we are helping them accumulate positivity. So sometimes it's a good idea to be a beneficiary. Okay, it's a good idea to be a beneficiary because that will help them accumulate positivity into their good fortune account. Okay, now in order to maintain, let's do it in this thing. Okay, in order to maintain, how do you say, to attract, a lot of benefactors into our lives, we need to maintain the integrity. Okay, and integrity, if you are with that house, it is in the middle. Okay, integrity. And integrity is not a direct translation of the Vietnamese word phẩm chất. Okay, some of you are studying. Okay, I'll share a little bit about that. Some of you are studying this to get the vocabulary. I'm not directly translating the word, the Vietnamese word phẩm chất, okay, which goes in the middle in the Vietnamese teaching. The word phẩm chất goes in the middle right here. That's not the word I'm using. Okay, in the Vietnamese word phẩm chất, it means quality. All it means is quality. Okay, quality. And when it comes to talking about the quality of a person, there's the an adjective associated. It has to do with phẩm chất ưu tú, which means superior quality. Superior. Okay, so it's a little, in English, it's a little weird to put superior quality in there. It feels a little arrogant. And what's missing in the education in terms of the English language is the word integrity. Okay, integrity is a word that every serious organization, every serious individual in the path to self-development and organizational development has to have the word integrity. And it is I would be remiss to not include it. So I use the word integrity. Okay. So instead, integrity, let's use this one. Integrity is a state of being, right? We talk about state of being, whole, perfect, and complete. Okay, whole, perfect, and complete. And from that, from then we can follow the quality that the Vietnamese teaching is talking about. The quality we're talking about here is humanity. Okay, humanity, which is nhân. Okay, propriety, okay, which is lễ. Nhân lễ, nghĩa. Oops, English. Here I'm going to use the word justice. Okay. Justice, nghĩa, the right, what's the appropriate thing to do to make it fair. Like your parent, nghĩa. We have nghĩa with our parent, you pay it back, right? It's the idea of justice. Nhân lễ nghĩa trí, this is wisdom. Okay, this is trí, wisdom. And this is trustworthiness. So I just briefly mentioned this. Later on, if we have time, trustworthy. I will share about the integrity. Okay, so just be mindful that my sharing sometimes is a little different from the Vietnamese sharing. Okay, so phẩm chất from Vietnamese is not integrity. Phẩm chất has to do with quality, but we're talking about the 5 quality here. Okay, these are the qualities. This is QUALITI. These are the qualities of a human being that makes them whole, perfect, and complete. Okay? A person who has humanity, propriety, justice, wisdom, and trustworthiness is a person who is considered a person of superior quality. They are a person of whole, perfect, and completeness. It is a person of integrity. Okay, and in other words, you have to have integrity. And not only that, the integrity is sit in the middle. Okay, not only you have to have humanity, propriety, justice, wisdom, and trustworthiness, integrity connects wisdom, attitude, and character. It connects our physique, our capability, and material well-being. Okay. So in order to attract people to help you, it is a good idea to have a state of being of humanity, propriety, justice, wisdom, and trustworthiness. Simple, because if somebody help you and you have no integrity, doesn't want to help you anymore, right? If you're not trustworthy, who wants to help you? If somebody give you money and we are not trustworthy with the money, who's going to want to give it some more money? If somebody help us, through anything, let's say through humanity, it's like a humanitarian, right? If somebody helped you and we are not grateful, and we don't help other people, nobody want to help us anymore. We don't have propriety, we don't know how to respond appropriately, nobody's going to want to help us. Okay, we don't understand fairness and justice, nobody's going to want to help us. Okay, we don't have wisdom, nobody's going to want to help us. So to attract benefactors into our lives, and we need a lot of benefactors if we want our lives to grow, we need to have integrity. We need to have 5 superior quality. Okay. Okay, that's a little bit so that's an important point to make. Okay, so integrity. So in here we're talking about integrity. Okay, and humanity, propriety, humanity, justice, right? Nhân lễ nghĩa, justice, wisdom, and trustworthiness. Okay. All righty. Okay, so this is, that's how to become how to attract a benefactor. Okay. And remember, we receive help because we have within us enough grace and merit. When we receive help, it is because we already have enough energy of good fortune to receive that help. Okay, this is an important part to remember. That's why we need to master the human construct and then the engine of grace and merit. We receive help because we are fortunate enough to receive help. Okay, if we are unfortunate, nobody will be around to help us. Okay. Okay, so and if we continue to receive help all the time, I mean, we keep on using up that energy, that good fortune. If we keep on receiving help, and if we don't create value out of people, if we don't generate more positive deposit into a good fortune account, if we don't accumulate more grace and merit, then eventually we are going to deplete that account of good fortune, and then people would stop helping us. Do you get it? Okay, this part is important. We receive help because we have enough positive fortune to attract somebody to help us. And as soon as we receive their help, we are using up good fortune. Okay, it is an energy that gets accumulated over time. But if we keep on using that fortune, it's going to get depleted if we don't replenish it. And so we have to replenish our good fortune account. How? By helping other people. Which leads us into how to become a benefactor. Okay, you get it? Okay, if we want positivity to keep coming into our life, we need to have a deposit of good fortune in our energy, our spiritual energy, our being. And the only way to become, to deposit good fortune, to have good fortune, to be fortunate, to have good fortune, is to help other people to become a benefactor ourselves. Okay, and so how do you become benefactor? Simple. We help other people. Okay, we already mentioned the 7 great gifts of life. Okay, we can help other people simply from our gift of appearance, the way we look, our smile. We give them the gift of our smile. When we smile, when we look good, other people feel good, we raise their energy level, we deposit a positive credit into our good fortune account. Okay, we give up seeing. Okay, our gift of seeing, our gift of the eyes, the way we look at a person. If we choose to look at them in a positive light, we see the best in that person, the potentiality for greatness, and we treat them like they're great people, then we raise their energy, and that means we also deposit a positive energy in our good fortune account. Our life will become better. When we help other people by words of kindness, we help other people by raising their awareness. We make their life better. We deposit a positive energy in our good fortune account, and we're going to accumulate more positive, more help. Okay, so that is how we become a benefactor. We the next gift of giving, our gift of gratitude, gift of the heart. Okay, we honor people, we are grateful to them, they feel good, we feel good, our life's gonna get better. Our gift of magnanimity. Okay, even when somebody does, cause some offense, don't take offense, don't take it in, don't blame other people, forgive them, be tolerant, be magnanimous. It helps other people, that is a help. Right, last time when we talk about the idea, the progression between forgiveness and mercy, okay? Be merciful. Mercy is helping other people. When we are merciful, we are reducing the punishment, okay? Because the punishment would be too severe for the other person. So being merciful help the other person get better, okay? Our gift of nhan nhã ngôn tâm phòng, our gift of a body, okay? Meaning our actions. Okay, we do things to help people. When we are benefactor, we help other people, help our children, help our co-worker, help our parents. We cause them to go positive, and we deposit a positive seed in our good fortune account. The last one is the gift of our position. Okay, we help other people attain the same position that we have today, whether it's our financial position or our relationship status or our health condition. Whatever we have, we can give to other people, help them achieve the same state, the same status, the same way of being, and we become a benefactor.
Hey, Frank,
Yes, sir.
if what if you're a good giver but not a good receiver? Like, I
Well,
like helping people, but I don't like
Ah.
receiving things back.
Good. I like that question. Okay, perfect timing, Ron. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Okay, good. If you want to give, you don't want to receive. Okay. Well, first of all, you have to, we understand the engine of grace and merit. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. When we need to be aware of something called pity. Okay. when we look at another person and we see that they need help and we are helping them, we need to be a little careful. Remember the human nature. There are different, there different part of the human nature that is at work. There's the desire. Okay, so there is the human nature. Okay, so I'm gonna say just human nature at work. Okay, so there is this one called desire. Okay, so there is one at work that is the sense of identity. A lot of different nature at work. There's a sense of pride at work. Okay, a person who desire for ourselves. Okay, this is selfishness, right? If all we care about is our selfish. Okay, and this is the positive one is the altruistic. Okay, altruistic. Okay, so one is negative, one is positive, right? So this is the negative. This one is positive. A sense of identity. I forgot the positive and negative. Arrogance, right? No, pride has to do with arrogance. I forgot what the I forgot the positive and negative for identity. But pride has to do with arrogance. Okay. This is inferiority, self-inferiority. Okay, it's a red. Inferiority. Okay, so this is negative.
Hài lòng. Surprise.
Cái danh does anybody remember the positive and negative of the danh?
Không có ạ. Tài sắc danh thực thủy thì không có, nhưng mà tham sân si mạng nghi ác kiến thì cái mạng thì đúng ạ.
Okay, so mạng is pride.
Mạng thì là hài lòng ạ. Nếu mà
Tham
dương thì là hài lòng.
Which one is okay, which one is hài lòng là cái gì? Cái gì là hài lòng là cái gì?
Hài lòng là của mạng đấy ạ, của mạng.
Mạng. Okay. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, so but I want you to pay attention to the idea of pity. Okay, so when we take pity on a person, be careful. Okay, are we really doing it out of a sense of altruistic, or are we really doing it out of a needs to express ourselves, which is desire, identity? That's why I wrote down the word identity. Okay, are we trying to satisfy the person's need to receive, or are we trying to satisfy our need to give? If we are actually trying to satisfy our need to give, then we're actually satisfying ourselves. It is the desire for ourselves, and we go negative. At the same time, when we take pity on another person, are we seeing them as less than us? If we see them as less than us, we're actually going too positive, and if we can be arrogant. Okay, and when we help a person, think about this one. If we help a person, then if they are fortunate to receive our help, that means at that moment in time, they have enough credit in their good fortune account to receive the help, right? If we help a person and they receive our help, then that means they are using up their good fortune. Okay, so that's fine. But if they're using up their good fortune, eventually they're going to deplete and they're not going to get any more positivity. So we have to be wise. When we are helping person, not only do we help them for whatever it is they need, but we also have to help them create more value. We have to create the opportunity for them to contribute value so that they can accumulate some positivity into their good fortune account. Otherwise, they're going to keep on using our help, and they'll get better for a short time, but then they will lose all the fortune again until we empower them to create value to other people. If any of us have ever done like chicken soup for the homeless, right? We cook food, like usually Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving in the United States, some of us will volunteer at a public kitchen where we cook a lot of food and we give it as a gift for free to homeless people, poor people. When we do that, we are giving them some help. We're helping them, right? They get food, they feel good. Right? We accumulate some positivity into our own life. That's good. But if we don't we don't create an opportunity for those people to actually create value, they would actually use up that blessing, and then their lives won't get better. That's why homeless people remain homeless. Right? Think about that. Every year, charitable organization will perform charitable work. Things like kitchen soup, feed the homeless. We give clothing away, we give blankets away, we give a lot of things away. But those people, if they keep on receiving and we don't create opportunity for them to create value, their lives doesn't get better. So every year we keep on going back and we keep on feeding them.
You might make them do dishes afterward.
There you go. That's actually a good idea.
Clean up.
Yeah,
You
just help. Yeah,
have
just
them clean up.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
do
then
this,
help and
clean
give them
up.
out to help. If some are able, then invite them to cook for other people. Right? Create opportunity for them to learn something. Raise their awareness. That's why even during the process of giving people food, see if you can find ways to raise their awareness so that they can be self-sufficient, so that they can create value for other people. There are many homeless people who only need help to get by so that they can get back onto their feet. But there are so many homeless people who keep on using up their good fortune, and they never get better. So when we help other people, and if all we want is to give, we have to be a little bit smart. You have to give in such a way that not only you give them the blessing of the material needs, but you also give them awareness and perception so that they can rise above their life's problem and they contribute back to their to the society. Okay, and then the second part, I give but I don't want to receive. Right? I help but I don't want other people to help me. Well, if you don't want other people to help you, that means you are not giving them the chance to churn that engine of grace and merit. You're being very selfish. So in a way, even though I'm saying I don't want your help, it sounds kind of altruistic. It sounds kind of like selfless. It sounds selfless. I don't want to bother you. I don't want to take your money. I don't want you to waste your time to help me. But that also means I don't want you to get better in terms of your grace and merit.
Well, how do you say that? Okay, I help you, but don't pay me back directly. Pay it forward.
There you go.
Oh, that's why in America we don't give the money to the homeless directly. We give the money to the charities, so the charity can help create jobs, help them to get back on their feet.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why you give, but you don't want to receive. That's the way. Don't give them money homeless on the street. You just create more problem. You attract more homeless to that area. Nobody want that. So just give it to the charities like Goodwills, St. Vincent de Paul's. Yeah, whatever you don't need, you donate it, and then they use that money to create job, help, homeless. So that's how I donate. I don't give money
Okay.
to the homeless on the street. I just give them a prayer. That's all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So did you get that so far? Was that helpful, Ron?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It's just, I was helping people with jobs and they were buying me gifts for getting them jobs and stuff like that. So I'm not that type of person that I just see the joy and happiness in their faces that they have a job now and they're successful.
Yeah.
So that pleases me more than a gift.
Okay. So yeah. So if here's the thing. When people give us gifts and we don't receive it, usually they feel bad. Like they're grateful.
Yeah.
If we don't take the money, and then their energy goes down.
Yeah.
So you're causing them to accumulate some negativity.
Oh.
So the smart way to do that, to me, if I was the smart way to do that is accept it so that they can feel that their gift has value.
Mhm.
Don't keep it for yourself, distribute it, give to other people. Once again, turn that little engine of grace and merit. Give to other people. Don't use it for yourself, because using it for yourself, then that means you're using up the blessing and then you're wasting your. If we're trying to improve our life, then you don't want to use up too much of the material blessing that we receive, right?
I have received their gifts.
Spread some more, right? Receive. Yeah. Why does the Buddha go begging for food?
Mhm.
The Buddha goes begging for food, not because he can't work, but he is creating the opportunity for other people to give him gift. So receiving gift is an act of charity that requires a level of wisdom to understand. It requires the understanding of the human construct, the engine of grace and merit, right? The Buddha goes begging for alms, not because he's destitute, he can't work, but he is creating opportunity for people to perform act of benevolence, act of charity. And so their life goes up because they give the Buddha food. Same thing with Jesus Christ. He doesn't work. When a rich person asks him, what do I do to go to heaven? He says, give the money away. Okay, so Jesus just eat whatever people invite him, whatever house he visit, and he just eat what people give him. He is creating opportunity for other people to get better in terms of their grace and merit. Okay, and there's one more point that I do need to share when we're talking about benefactor. Okay, when we're helping people, there is let's see, let's use this one. Okay, help. When we help, there is two types of recipient. There is the winner and the underdog. Okay. Do you notice that some of us like to support the winning team? Right? In sports, for instance, some people love the winning team. They cheer for the winning team. But some people prefer to cheer for the underdog, the loser, because they want to help the weak. Okay, this is this is the strong. Okay, this is the strong. You helping the strong versus you help the weak. Oftentimes, when we are performing a charitable act, we are helping somebody who is the underdog, somebody who's weaker than us, right? But we have to be careful. When we're helping somebody who's weaker than us, we may be thinking of ourselves as better than them. Okay, we may be thinking of ourselves as better than them. We're helping them because we're thinking ourselves as better than them. And over time, if we keep on helping only weak people, their negativity is going to drag us down. After a while, neither of us is going to get better. If we keep on helping weak people. Okay. So in order to protect us, we need to maintain a wise balance between helping the weak and helping the strong. Helping the strongs are the successful people, the people who has great mission. Right. For example, you know, our the founders of the BIT organization, we would consider him the winner, the strong. Right. He is successful in his health, in his relationship, in his financial well-being. If we are helping him, then he can pull us back. He can pull us up, and we would also be able to help the weak. But if we cut ourselves off from the strong, and all we do is we use our own energy, because every time we give, well, it's kind of like we're giving away, right? If we give material, then our material is going to deplete. If we give our energy, and our energy is going to get depleted. After time, we would go down. We would be depleted, and because we give too much. And if we keep on giving the weak all the time, we're going to be depleted, and that's going to limit our ability to give and to help. In Vietnamese, we're talking about phò suy and phò thính. Okay, so if anybody studying, this is phò suy. Okay, helping the weak. This one is phò thính. Okay, helping the strong and helping the weak. Some people don't care about the weak. They just follow the strong. They do everything. They just love winners. They love champions. They love rich people. They just do everything to serve the strong. It makes the strong stronger, but it doesn't do anything for the weak. And so it doesn't really work. If you keep on, you know, just serving the strong, then you're just going to be, you know, basically a servant for the rest of your life. But if we're helping the weak all the time, then we're going to be depleted, and we're going to be pulled down to their level. So we need to help the strong in order to rise to their level. Okay, we accumulate their blessings. Okay, the sages, I mean the wise, the sage, the benefactor, we help them achieve their dreams. Okay, and at the same time, we help the weak achieve their dream. So you gotta have a good balance. Okay, in fact, in order to attract helper, in order to attract benefactor, right, the strong, we need to help them realize their dream. They all have dream. Our parents, for example, they have their own dreams. They have their own aspiration. Find out what our parents' aspirations are and help them achieve their aspiration. At the same time, we can help people who are weaker than us and help them achieve their aspiration. And the end result is that we will be able to more simply achieve our own aspiration in life. All right. Do you guys, you know, get the engine of merit and grace and merit? And yeah, that's important, right? Helping the weak versus helping the strong. You got to maintain a balance, as well as being careful when we are taking pity on other people, because we may be, you know, being arrogant. Okay. Take a, you know, to talk a little bit more. A lot of us here are workers in a job. Okay, workers in a job. When we get hired, somebody agreed to pay us a set amount of money, wage. Okay, we have a job description and a wage that is offered. And at the point of agreeing to pay us, and the point that we agree to go to work, it is a fair exchange of value. We work for X amount of hours, we get paid for X amount of dollars, and we get a paycheck. That paycheck is given to us, you know, in a fair market. It is an equal value to the amount of work or the value that we contribute. It is a fair exchange of value. And as we mentioned before, any fair exchange of value, it's going to cancel out. It's going to be a zero-sum game. And if it is a zero-sum game, then you are not going to improve, and neither is your company or your organization. The only way for us to help ourselves become better or to help our organization become better is to contribute more than what we receive in terms of wage. If there's an expectation of what we do in terms of our wage, then do that and then find ways to do more. Bring more value, especially the intangible stuff. Remember the first day or two we talk about the values of a human life. We initially think of a rich person as people with money, right? If all we think about is value in terms of money, then that's just very physical, it's material, it's actually very limited. But if we can bring value to an organization in more intangible way, in more non-material way, bring wisdom, bring attitude, bring character to our organization, to our job, do more than what the job asks of us, then what that does, it will accumulate more positive energy in our good fortune account, increases our level of grace and merit. And guess what? After a time, that will open opportunity for us to receive more reward in terms of bonus, in terms of job promotion, in terms of position in the organization, right? You can put yourself in the position of an employer. You look at a bunch of employees. If the employee, all they do is exactly what the job description says, and you pay them exactly for it, and that becomes a zero-sum game, fine. And we'll keep them around as long as they contribute what the job description says, and we pay them, that's fine. But you're not gonna promote that person to a leadership position. What you want to do is you promote the person who goes above and beyond, right? You promote the person who gives in the extra value, the person who has a great attitude, the person who has great wisdom and character, the person who shows leadership potential, the person who shows the capability of making the organization grow. And so as an employee, if we're wise, contribute more than what the job description say, more than what we get paid to do. You get it? Engine of grace and merit, the engine of value creation. If we give more than what we are paid for, then essentially the organization owes us. Okay. Okay, we accumulate positivity, and so that opens up more opportunity to receive bonuses, more opportunity to receive promotion to a higher responsibility, more power and benefits in the company. All right, I think Ron, who is in the supervisor manager, he understands this. You don't want to promote a person who only does his job and get paid for exactly what he does. You want to promote people who goes above and beyond, who bring great attitude, make the whole team, you can see that the person has vision. In fact, if you can see a person has vision and aspiration, and if that vision and aspiration matches with the vision and aspiration that you have for your company, then you're going to promote those persons, right? You're going to be their benefactor. You're going to want to help them grow. You're going to invest in their growth and maturity. And so if a company, if an individual employee can recognize the aspiration of the company and help the company grow, if we can match our vision and our aspiration, our values, then we can grow with the company. Otherwise, when a company grows, we may become obsolete. Many employees find themselves being laid off when the company decide to invest in automation. But if a person recognizes that, oh, the company is growing in terms, let's say, automation, then they're going to go about, let's say, learning about AI, okay, improving their skills so that they can grow with the company. You have to invest in your own growth and maturity in order to match the need of the company. And the company is going to look out for the kind of people who will contribute more value than just what is asked of them in the job description. Okay. So, engine of value and creation. Okay, that has to do with being a help helpful person. Okay, you can be a benefactor to your company, or you can just be an employee. Okay, I've just given you an opportunity, whereas before when we're working, we just think of ourselves as an employee. We are just a piece of the machinery. But if we can think of ourselves as a benefactor to our company, ooh, now we are helping our company grow. We are a value contributor to the company. We have changed our awareness and perception of ourselves. We're no longer just a piece of the machinery. We are the machine. We take ownership. Just because somebody pay us money for the amount of hours doesn't mean that we can't be an owner. We can be the owner of our position. We take ownership of our job. We take full responsibility and accountability for what we do, and we contribute more in terms of our attitudes, our wisdom, and our character. Then we can, as an employee, as an individual employee, we can actually direct the course of the company's destiny. So let me share with you my own story. I work in a medical office. On the job description, I'm just a electrocardiographic technician. Okay, my job description just means I go in and I plug a bunch of wires to a patient and I help them run a stress test so that the doctor can measure the stress on their heart and help them deal with their heart problems. If I do all of that, I will get paid X amount of dollars, and that will be fine. And I will stay in that position for many years. But I'm interested in seeing the company grow. I'm interested in giving values in a way that is beyond what is in the job description. So when it comes to my company, every quarter or so, they will ask employee for their opinion, their feedback on how they're doing, what they think about the leadership, how the company is going. And I'm very grateful for the company for giving us the opportunity to raise our voice in that way. And I use that opportunity to share this teaching. I talk to, in my feedback, I talk about the value, the intangible values. I talk about attitude. I talk about honoring gratitude. I talk about the difference between human resources versus the talent asset. Okay, let's Ron, remember this one: talent assets versus human resource. Human resources is resources, a thing that we use until they get used up and we discard them. That's the idea of resources. Raw material, okay, and financial resources, material resources, human resources are the people that we use until they run out and they become useless. But if we recognize a human being as the significance of people, okay, then we think of human resources as not resources. We think of them as assets, talent, asset. Everybody has talent, and assets are something that grow in value, that we commit to, we invest in, and we want them to be with us for the rest of our life, and we want them to grow. And because their growth is going to contribute to our growth. And so I share with them this knowledge, this intangible stuff. This is the stuff that is beyond my job description. They didn't ask me to share those knowledge. And when I interact with my patient, I also, interact with them in a way that is, I honor them as a special human being. They're not just patient there to get a test. And somehow the administration and the supervisor, my manager, my boss, they recognize that. They recognize the intangible value that I have contributed to my organization. And every time there is a performance review, I usually get positive review. I usually get pretty high raise. There's every time they do a performance review, they will give a raise, and more often than not, I would get the maximum raise available. And I have been given new position. Okay, I've been given new sort of responsibility that has to do with raising the organization's awareness and perception, to help individual raise their attitude, help them take ownership of their job. In our organization, it's called the ambassador. They own it, ambassador. Okay, and own it. They help the other employees take ownership of the mission and the vision and the value of the company. Sort of an educational aspect, right? Which is not what my job description. My job description just help run tests. But I get to be an educator. I get to be someone who can help the administration transmit their values and ideas on an intangible way, in a philosophical way, in a spiritual, way. I participated in a project that designed, a creative project that decorated a wall. Okay, decorated a wall, and part of the wall is I designed a picture of a tree. And the tree, I wrote down, our services are rooted in values. Okay, and at the bottom of the tree, I follow the example of the WIT tree of prosperity. The values I wrote down, values of justice, integrity, and things like that. Our service is rooted in values, and I label the root of the tree as the values of the organization. And then in the next month or so, my boss has nominated to attend a sort of a retreat to learn about the mission of the organization and to help my coworker and my department raise their awareness and raise their intangible value. So that's my way of contributing value and gaining value from that contribution that is outside of my job description. Okay, that's my own little story. I think I'm gonna say the remaining. Yeah, I'll say the remaining types of people for next week. Okay, next week. So we talked about today. We only talk about the whys, the benefactor. Let's talk about that's enough. Next week we'll talk about the value connector. Okay, value connector, and then we'll talk about the spirit of fortune. Anybody want to?
I just want to say one thing, Frank.
Yeah.
When you started your story, you said, "I'm just a cardio technician." Does that not make it sound like you lowered yourself? Like, I'm just?
That's intentional.
You went to school. None of us could do your job.
That's intentional.
You went to school, you became somebody.
Yeah, that's intentional. A lot of people pointed out to me. Like oftentimes when I would share that's with another patient or another coworker, I would tell them that my job description, I am a cardiovascular technician. Okay.
Yeah.
And as much as I enjoy creating values in terms of coming up with a accurate diagnosis for the doctor to help the patient solve their health problems, what I'm more of in terms of identity is a teacher. I'm more of a person who is a promoter of health as opposed to fixing problems. It is to create a contrast between the identity of a cardiovascular technician or EKG technician, and then sort of like a teacher or mentor.
Oh, okay, I see.
It has to do with. Did I talk about attachment to identity earlier today? I did, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So if I'm totally attached to my identity as an EKG technician, then I will promote the idea of, oh, I'm a great, I love being an EKG technician. And I do that to the fullest of my ability.
Yes.
But I am at any moment willing to drop it in order to point the way for other people to have a more expansive understanding about health. Because the EKG technicianship, the job description is narrowly defined as helping people come up with a diagnosis that doctor can use to fix the problem. It is not expensive enough. So I just say, okay, on the one hand, I'm just a EKG technician, but on another hand, I'm a teacher of health and happiness. And that kind of piqued the interest. Oh, what is it? What do you mean? You know, what do you mean health and happiness? And then I would quote the Constitution of the World Health Organization. I would quote, well, health is a state of complete mental, physical, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Okay, so I appreciate your concern about that. Okay, there are many loving people out there who are worrying that I am being inferior when I am saying I'm just an EKG. They're trying to help me raise my awareness and perception about my job so that I can be proud about my job. And as much as I am happy to be hired and to be working in a job, I would like to expand that. Okay, I would like to expand that and become more than what it is. And so, yeah, I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
that's my
And
experience.
Donna would also like to know what kind of pens you have, your felt pens.
Oh,
Random. I have,
Random.
you know, we just, this one, this is, you know, this is part of an experiment. You know, my wife and I, when I started doing the sharing, I started buying a bunch of different brand to see which one is working. Okay, so I like this one. This one is called True Red. I don't know if you can read it. The brand is True Red. It's kind of nice. It's got the nice dark color from Amazon. Okay?
yeah. Okay.
And then this one is Java Pop, something like that. Okay, so
Okay.
and there's, you
Awesome.
know, we haven't
Good.
settled on any particular one. We bought 2 sets of the one that our master uses. I don't even remember what it is. The one from Japan.
It's Art Line
Yeah,
90.
outline. We bought 2 sets. We haven't even opened it up, so we're gonna use all of this until they run out, and we'll play with those. I like,
Yeah, I
you know,
like the one you use. It's nice.
yeah, outline. You know, at some point we will open up the outline. You know, so this one is called.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you tried 3 different ones. I
3
want
different, 3 or 4 different brand. Okay, the cheap one runs out very quickly. So,
Oh, okay.
but I haven't really shared that much anyway to notice how fast they run out anyway. So,
I really like your sharing.
okay.
And you look like you quite transformed your face and your, you know,
Really?
yeah, brighten up everything. It's just so it warms my heart that you have transformed a lot since we've been with you for a while now. Yes.
Yeah, wow.
So
Okay.
thank you for that. I'm not here with Ron. I'm in the background cleaning up and everything. I hear everything you said.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for your teaching.
Well,
Yes,
I
thanks, Frank.
appreciate that as well. Yeah. What I do
And
need.
thanks for your audience too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have you know, any questions and impressions? So Ron, I remember you were here in this discussion with the last season. You know, some vocabulary has changed, right? For example, the Y and the sage. I'm moving the sage down to the bottom. But and then yeah, next week we'll talk about the value connector, and then instead of the genie, I'm going to use the word the spirit of wisdom. I mean the spirit of fortune for the guy. Yeah. Mary Ann,
Awesome.
you have any impression, question? What one thing that you learned today?
Well, a lot. Want to, you know, pay it forward, to
Okay.
be a wise person. I already am. What is the second person?
Benefactor.
A benefactor. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
being a mom, so I know I'm a benefactor. So try to be a wise now. Try to be a wise.
You know, a lot of us are parents, right? And when we are a benefactor to our children, okay, just remember, pay attention to that engine of grace and merit, that value creation. When we help our children, remember, when we help our children, they are using up blessings and grace. Okay, we help them all the time. In fact, there are stories of really fortunate family, great material wealth, would have children and they would give them everything. give them all the food, the clothes, the money, all the things that they would ever need and want. But one thing that they do is they fail to teach them to create value, fail to teach them to help other people. So the child, after a while, they would use up the fortune, and when the fortune run out, they don't know how to make any money.
Well, I make my daughter to do chores.
Exactly. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
nothing free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Right.
children who
Thank
are
you, Frank.
spoiled, yeah, children who are spoiled have to pay the price of being spoiled. Okay, so that's why we do want to help our children grow and mature. We want to invest in the growth and maturity, not just their pleasure. Right? Because when they grow and they mature, they become engines of value creation themselves. They would
Yeah.
accumulate grace and merit for themselves, and then they can help themselves and other people.
Yeah, I already told my daughter I'm not going to pay for her college, so she better she better get a good grades and get grants, and scholarship. I'm not going to pay for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she know from the get go. Right. So
you wouldn't want to say it in a negative or limiting way.
Right. But
money, we want to use money with a good and clear purpose for value creation. Okay. If withholding money is, if the purpose is to help our children become independent and value creating themselves, and that's good. But if we recognize that if we don't help them, then they will have to maybe work, or they have to take a loan, then they're going to be in debt. That means they're going to take longer for them to become financially independent. But if we can invest in their education by giving them the money, and at the same time teach them that, yeah, this is money that I'm invest in your future, so that instead of you wasting time going to work and paying for your own education, you can be free to focus on your education so that you can acquire knowledge more quickly and not have to be in debt when you get out. Then you have more time and more chances to create more value. Different way of thinking. Right?
My way of thinking is like, okay, when she graduates from high school, I tell her to take a year off. Don't go straight to university or college. I want her to go to Vietnam, spend a year in Vietnam, learn the language, learn the culture, learn, her vision, to open her mind, her vision. And then I told her that I want to open the adoption, so I want her to help. So that's what I always told her, that she will spend a year in Vietnam.
Okay.
And then after that, she's either decide to study whatever she wants, but my wish is I want her to be a lawyer so she can help me setting up the adoption agency and everything. But I mean, that's my goal. I help her in, whatever ways I can, but I don't want her to depend on me. And she knows that. And I told her, in order to get scholarship and grants, you have to be a student. You have to involve in the community activities. You have to give back to the communities. So that would look good on the resume when you apply for grant and scholarships. So that's what she's doing right now. Yes, I'm glad that, I hope she will keep that up.
Good.
Thanks for your, sharing. All right, Frank. I think I have to go to work early tomorrow.
Okay. Important announcement. California is going to change its time. So next week, I'm keeping the same time. Are you in Arizona, Marianne?
So when you change to,
you have daytime
my time
change,
will be the same.
Your time is going to change. Okay. So spring forward. So I'm moving forward 1 hour, meaning I'm going to, so instead like right now, okay, right now it is 9 p.m. for me. Next week it's going to be 10 p.m. Same as you?
Time in Arizona.
Okay, so
that's the same with me.
when I set it out, it'll be the same as you. Okay, so Ron, you and I, we changed time, right?
Yeah, we're the same time.
Okay, yeah. So next week, for us, it's just going to be 6 p.m.
Normal.
Yeah, the same for me.
It's going to be 6 p.m. But
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you'll be, so instead of 7, it'll be 6 for you, okay, Marianne? Okay, and for those of you in Vietnam, that also mean instead of 9 a.m., it'll be 8 a.m. for you in Vietnam, okay? Okay, I'll send a flyer with a new, I'll make it bold and so you know there's new time. But for those of you in Vietnam, just pay attention that it's gonna be an 8 a.m. Vietnam instead of 9 a.m. For the past few months, okay? That's how California works. Every year we change it twice. Okay?
Same in Canada.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Well, move here. We never change.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right. Have a good night.
You guys take care, okay? Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Frank.
you. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks.
Good night, everybody.
See ya.
Night.